Hello, welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation with me, your host, Owen, the channel that brings you your team every single day. Well, guys, progress indicates a bright future. It certainly does. Since Phillipe Clement has come into the team, the difference he's made to this Rangers team is quite remarkable in such a short time. Now, I know players will be away on international duty and I know players will be missing, but he certainly will value this time that he has with the squad with no games to actually work with the team. Because let's face it, if you're playing on a Saturday, a Thursday, or Thursday, Saturday, whatever it is, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, whatever you play, it is difficult to obviously hold training sessions and get players doing what you want. And as Clement said in multiple press conferences, in multiple interviews, you know, you need time with the players on the training ground if you're going to get them to buy into and understand the system that you want them to play. Like I said, I know players will be away on international duty. I understand that, but it certainly gives him an opportunity to work with the players who are here. Also hope as well that there will be a number of players who return from injury, the likes of Nicholas Raskin, John Suter, Ravi Matondo, etc., etc. But I think it's worth, before we look towards the future, just taking a little stock of what Phillipe Clement has meant at Rangers. So he's won every domestic game that he's managed, first of all. Fact, he's scored, well, he hasn't scored. The team have scored 18 goals and conceded only 3 in all competitions, a plus 15 goal difference. Very good indeed. He's won 4 of 6 points in European competition in the Europa League. Again, good. He's cut the gap effectively, if we win our game in hand, to Celtic to 5 points. Well, made up 2 points, shall we say. And he's booked a place in a League Cup final. Certainly a very impressive start to his management career at Rangers. But more importantly than that, he's given the team a structure. He's given the team an identity. He's given the team a way of playing, an enthusiasm, a bit of speed, a bit of excellence, and a belief, a self-belief. And like I said on the video this morning, I don't honestly think that the team under Gio or a team under Michael Beale wins that game yesterday after a missed penalty and a disallowed goal. I think they'd allow their heads to drop. I think they would pretty much just fall apart. This team now has more belief, and that is quite clear. Now, the international break comes at kind of a bad time and kind of a good time. Like I said, a good time to get players back and give Phillipe time to work with the players. A bad time in terms of breaking up the positive run that we are currently on. You know, playing week on week on week and having that positive run and keeping it going is certainly something you need. But, you know, let's look, shall we, at the fixtures we've got coming up over the next few days and weeks and months. So here is the Rangers fixtures over the next 8 games as we head towards that Scottish League Cup bye on the 17th of December. So we start back on the 26th of November on a Sunday against Aberdeen, who no doubt will be playing like prime Barcelona because they're playing Rangers. I find it absolutely hilarious on social media this morning reading Aberdeen fans' comments raging about what Chris Boyd said on Sky yesterday, saying that they don't lie down for Celtic and it's just Celtic are a very good team and we're not, etc., etc., etc. Look, you lie down for them. It's plain and clear. You've won once in the last 20 years, and that the only time you won was when you needed to win to finish second above. Yes, that's right, Rangers. The rest of the time, you've laid down and just taken it and given up. Like I said, Aberdeen, tin pot, pathetic, Mickey Mouse waste of time and space, an embarrassment to their city, town, whatever the hell it is, an embarrassment to Scottish football, just like that lot across the city. They really are. I mean, if you think about what Sir Alex Ferguson achieved at that club and how he had them playing and how they were a force in Scottish football to what they've become now, a laughing stock effectively. But that game will be a tough game. It's at Pittodrie. They'll be bang up for it because they always are. It's their Champions League final. It's their World Cup final. It's their interplanetary Super Cup. You know, it's everything to them. It means the world to them. They just cannot get enough of it. And of course, they'll be up for that game. Then on the Thursday, we travel back to obviously to Ibrox and we face Aris Limassol in the Europa League game. This is a game that we obviously have to win. If we win this game, it puts us in prime position to qualify for the next round. Will put us on 10 points, which realistically means we will get one of the top 2 places in this group and leave it as a shootout against Betis later in December to see who finishes top of the group. But Aris, it's a game we should win if we play as we are able to. If we play as we've been playing over the last few weeks, this game should be relatively straightforward. Yes, I know we lost Aris to Limassol in Limassol. I understand, but we were awful that day. Absolutely awful. It was a real Michael Beale style hangover. I know Stephen Davis was in charge for that game, but it really was a Beale-esque hangover. I don't see that happening again. I see Rangers powering to another victory there. Then it's a home game against St Mirren. Again, a game that we need to win, a game that we should be winning, a game that's a domestic game against a team that realistically has doing well this season, but is not a threat to us. Hearts away then in the league again. That's 3 days after the St Mirren game, so obviously very tight on that. Again, you're seeing here there'll be a lot of games where we play, you know, the Saturday or the Sunday, and then the Wednesday or the Thursday, and we have to keep that going. That way of constantly playing 2 to 3 games a week up throughout the month of November and the month of December. And I think we'll have some evidence of squad rotation there. And that's why I think it's so important we get these players back over this international break. But again, Hearts away, it is a winnable game. Hearts are not a good team. I know they've sacked their manager, but they're not a good team. Home to Dundee. Dundee, we've already absolutely ploughed them away from home at Dens Park. So again, this is a game that is eminently winnable. The real 2 bigger games then come in the next 2 games after that. Away in Seville and the League Cup final. Now, that game in Seville is kind of critical, you know, in terms of, well, I won't say critical. It's kind of a toss-up, isn't it? What do? Do you go for it and try and win the group, or do you kind of accept it, play a few, rotate your squad, just hope for the best, and then obviously rest players with the League Cup final in view on Sunday? That is a thing. You know, to me, Rangers should try and win every game. They should feel their strongest team in every game and try and win every single game. And we're going to talk about the strongest team in a short while, but part of me also thinks, you know what, wherever you finish in the Europa League group stage, you finish first, you finish second, whoever you get in the next round, you're going to get a tough team, because there's a lot of good teams in this season's Europa League. There's an awful lot of strong teams. Liverpool, for instance, Brighton in it this year. You know, you look along that, you've got some really good sides in this year's Europa League. So I think it's going to be tough no matter what. And if you want to get to the final, if you want to go all the way like we did a couple of seasons ago, then yeah, you need to beat the best. And we did. We beat Dortmund, for example, a team that were highly rated, a team that everyone thought would absolutely smash us, and they didn't. Obviously, then it's the League Cup final. It's Aberdeen's Super Cup final. It's their raison d'etre. It's their reason to be. It's the reason they get up in the morning, you know, to play Rangers. That's the only reason they do get up in the morning, because they certainly didn't get up in the morning on Sunday. It will be a game where we can get our first piece of silverware, lay down a mark. It's so important, I think, this game. Absolutely vital that we win this game and show that we are back in the trophy-winning business. Can you imagine I know it's only the League Cup, and I get that, and it's not important. It is the 4th priority this season. You know, for me, it's League, Scottish Cup, Europa League, then the League Cup. That is the order of priorities for me. I know some of you may disagree with that. That's fine. But for me, it would still be a Phillipe. It would still be a big lift. To lift a trophy is always a boost for a team. So it's absolutely vital that we do that. Then it's our rearranged game on the 20th against St Johnstone. That will hopefully then obviously cut that lead back, heading then towards that next Old Firm game. So there's a lot of games coming up. A lot of games coming up thick and fast. And I think, like I said, it's going to be a case of really needing this squad back. And like Phillipe Clement has said, it's an important time for him to get these players strong, to get these players fit, and to get these players back and ready to go. But in terms of the strongest team, you know, what is our strongest team? What would you say is our strongest 11? Put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. For me, this is our strongest 11 when everybody is fit. So obviously Jack Butland in goal. There is no better keeper in Scotland. He is the best goalkeeper in Scotland. And that lot across the city will say Joe Hart, but Joe Hart is just a calamity. He's a crap keeper. He was someone who's kicked out of Manchester City for not being good enough, struggled down south of the border, just a poor keeper. Back 4, Tavernier and Goldson. Leon Balogun has been absolutely superb, Phillipe Clement. Clement's kept faith with him in all the league games. And as I said on the video yesterday, you know, it'd be interesting to see if he had been in the European squad, who would have started? Would it have been Leon or would it have been Ben Davis? I would suggest Leon Balogun. He's been phenomenal. Barisic will start at left back, probably. That is probably our strongest back 4. However, I do think it needs work. I do think we need another centre back. I do think we need a new left back. I think that back 4 does need in the summer to be ripped up and started again, and that's down to Phillipe Clement to rebuild that back 4. Because no disrespect to Tav or Goldson or Balogun or Barisic, but none of these guys are all getting any younger. They're all over 30. They're all the wrong side of 30. They're only going to get older, and as you get older, things start to stop working. We all know that, us old men. Lundstram and Jack would sit in front of the back four. I think that's the only way to do it. To be honest with you, they've been great in the last few games. They've ran things, they've controlled things, they've been dominant in the last few games. And so for me, Jack and Lundstram, they're my three behind the striker. Todd Cantwell, you've got to give him that 10 role. Tom Lawrence can rotate with him, but Todd Cantwell is our finest player. You know, yes, at times this season he hasn't been great. But I think give him the 10 role, give him the freedom to go and influence the game, and then we'll see the best of him again. Get the width there with Seema and Matondo. The pace there is frightening. Seema, you know, has fried people this year with his speed, as has Matondo. These two guys are lightning. These two guys are the answer on the width. So that is the best way for me. Gives us natural width until possibly we can buy someone in January. And then you've got to go with Danilo up front. The guy is on a different level. He knows the offside rule, big bonus. His movement is fantastic. He takes chances. He's a good player. He's sharp. He includes others. He plays through the middle. He drifts out wide. He is a very good striker. He's just so much sharper, quicker, better than Cyril Dessers or Kamaru. So Danilo has to start for me. That's my strongest 11 when everyone is fit. But you know what? The progress we've seen over the weeks since Phillipe Clement came in certainly indicates that we have a very bright future at the club. As guys, smash that sub for me, please, and ring that notification bell. And on the way out, two things, as always. Number one is to smash the like. And number two is, remember, never forget, we are the people.